In a quiet countryside town in Yorkshire, there lived an 8-year-old boy named Oliver. He wasn't loud or overconfident, but he loved football more than anything. Every afternoon after school, he'd run straight to the field, eager to play. Yet, there was something that always made his heart sink: his shoes. They were old, worn out, and slightly torn near the sole. While the other boys wore shiny, branded studs with pride, Oliver would quietly tuck his feet into the grass, hoping no one noticed. And every time his team lost, Oliver would walk off the field, muttering the same words: "If only I had proper shoes, I could have won that game." The truth, however, was something else. Oliver rarely practiced. He skipped warm-ups, made excuses, and blamed every mistake on his shoes. His coach, Mr. Harris, a man who had trained dozens of young athletes over the years, noticed this pattern. He saw how Oliver had convinced himself that success was only about the shoes and not the sweat behind them. One evening, Mr. Harris came up with a plan, not to punish Oliver, but to teach him a lesson that would stay for life. The next day, Oliver was walking home alone along the same path he took every day, a peaceful trail lined with tall trees. But this time, something unusual caught his eye. Beneath a large oak tree lay a stunning pair of football shoes. They sparkled in the afternoon light, brand new, untouched. He looked around. No one in sight. As he bent down to pick them up, a deep voice echoed from behind the tree. "Only the chosen ones can wear these shoes." Oliver jumped in shock, looking around, but saw no one. The voice returned. "These are magical shoes. They only appear to those who are meant to win. Wear them, and you'll never lose again." His heart thudded with excitement. Could this really be the moment he'd been waiting for? Without hesitation, he put the shoes on. They fit perfectly. He smiled to himself, already imagining the goals, the cheers, the glory. The next morning, Oliver walked into school with new confidence. He didn't study for his test. After all, the shoes would take care of that. He failed. On the football field, he stood still, expecting the ball to follow his feet and score on its own. Instead, it hit him in the face. Laughter followed, embarrassed and angry. Oliver returned to the oak tree that evening, now fuming. "You lied!" he shouted. "You said I'd win! These shoes are useless!" Just then, the same voice spoke again, gentler this time. "Magic doesn't work without effort. You believed in the shoes, but not in yourself. The magic begins only when you begin. Try, just for 1 month. Work hard. Practice. Study. Give your best, then come back." Oliver stood still. For the first time in a long while, he felt quiet inside. That night, something shifted within him. It wasn't just about football anymore. It was about proving something to himself. The next day, Oliver set a new routine. He started waking up an hour earlier to jog through the frosty morning fields. After school, he practiced football until the sun disappeared behind the hills. He stopped making excuses in class and began asking questions instead. There were days he was tired, days he wanted to quit, days his legs ached and his mind wandered. But he kept going, not for the shoes, for himself. Weeks passed, and slowly, things changed. His marks improved. He started answering questions confidently. On the football field, he no longer waited for the ball to come to him. He ran toward it, fearless and focused. And then, one day, during a school-level tournament, Oliver scored not 1, but 3 goals. The entire team lifted him on their shoulders. His eyes sparkled, but it wasn't the shoes he looked at. It was his journey. That evening, as the sun dipped low, he walked back to the same oak tree. He stood there, quietly. The shoes were still on his feet, but he no longer believed they held the magic. He whispered into the air, "I understand now. The magic was never in the shoes." From behind the tree, Mr. Harris stepped out slowly. Oliver looked at him in surprise, but he wasn't shocked. A part of him had already guessed it. "Thank you, sir," he said softly, smiling, "for making me believe in myself." We spend so much of our lives looking outside for magic, in expensive things, in shortcuts, in excuses. But real magic doesn't come from what you wear or what you own. Real magic comes from what you do, especially when no one's watching. The world may give you tools, but effort is what turns them into weapons. And the moment you stop blaming and start becoming, that's when the transformation begins. So if you're waiting for a miracle, stop, start. Because the miracle you're hoping for is already inside you. It just needs a little practice to wake up.